welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 2 of vlogmas. Today's video is going to be my November reading wrap up. It's not that many, okay, don't yell at me. I have been in a I've been in a little reading slump. I just feel like I'll get into the book and then I'll finish it and then I don't really start another book up. And then, then I kind of forget to read in a sense. And then like the cycle kind of continues. So like 2 of these I finished yesterday. One of them is a novella. Just to put that into perspective, that I didn't read 2 full books in a day, but that's what I mean. Like I'll go days without reading and then like a day will hit and I'll read all day long and then like finish a book, start to finish, like, just things like that. I don't know what that means about me, but we are trying to work on it on December, which is like the main goal of vlogmas, is to read more. So that's good. We're gonna be talking about the 4 books that I did read. I feel like they were all pretty good. I do have my notes here of my star ratings for all of them. I didn't rate the novella because it was so short that like I felt like rating it would have been a disservice. And then also fun fact that 3 of these books, 3 out of the 4 books that I read are by Frida McFadden. Correct. I'm just noticing that right now as I'm sitting here. But you know what? We don't hate Frida because I do tend to reach towards her when I'm in a reading slump because they are fast paced, that I'll finish them quickly. So that does make sense. That does line up with everything. So, you know what? No hate here. I did really quickly want to show you guys my hoodie or crew neck. Sorry, my crew neck. I got this for my birthday by my friend Alexis and it's so cute. She had told me that she thought that she might want to keep it for herself and I honestly don't really blame her. Can you guys see? I'll stand up a little bit. It is the I Love You Zayden Ryerson edition and it just has like different quotes in there. I love it so much. Alexis, if you're watching this, I love it so much. Thank you so much for the sweater. It's my most prized possession, honestly. But nonetheless, let's get into the books. The first book of the month was The Tenant by Frida McFadden. I rated this a 4.75 stars. This one, pretty good. I feel like for a second there I was a little bit over Frida McFadden because I felt like her endings were all very repetitive. I'm not going to say what I thought was repetitive about it because that does really give away a lot of her books, I feel. But going into this I was like, this is gonna be boring, because a couple months ago I had read The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden and I felt like that one was like not that good, honestly. It wasn't my favorite. So going into this one, I was kind of like, but I had heard good things about it and it was really good. I felt like I didn't really expect that. I did think a different ending was going to happen and it didn't happen. So was I shocked? Yes. And 2, I felt like everything made sense and I did really enjoy this one. It just wasn't a 5-star for me because I feel like the only 5-star I've ever given Frida was The Housemaid. I felt like that was the only one that I've been like genuinely like, oh my god, and really wrapped up in. So it was very good. It was a very fast-paced book. I finished this book in a day. So if you're needing to get out of the rut, honestly, a good one to pick up. The second book that I read was New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. This was this as good as Twilight? No, it wasn't. But still, nonetheless, very good. I rated this one a 4.5 stars. It was very good. There was a little bit of like slowness in it, but that's kind of what the book is meant for you to do, if that makes sense, or feel, because obviously this is when I feel like I could talk about this one because this one has been out for years. We've all seen the movies, like, please, okay? But this is obviously when Edward like leaves her. So she's going through her depression, her sitting on the stairwell, staring out the door, just, in her thing. Like that's how I felt like I was, which is what you want to feel because that's what she's feeling. So it was a very good book, but it just did feel a little slow, reading through it. There was a time there where I was like, I really need to get through this, but I did still rate it a 4.5 stars because it did what it needed to do. Everything in here was very good. I feel like every single book that I've read, me trying to sound like I've read all of them. I've only read 2 out of I think there's 5 of them, including Midnight Sun. I feel like reading this one and Twilight have both had a very nostalgic feel on me because obviously I know I know what's going to happen because I've seen the movies. But it still is really interesting to like read it because reading it always gives you more detail. But I did tell my best friend Renee this, that I feel like reading this is my first time reading a book that I've already watched. I've never done that before. I've obviously read a book and then watched it, but this is the first time me doing it backwards. And this is the best adaptation I've ever witnessed. I feel like the books or the movies really encapsulated what's going on in the books really, really well. So, do you necessarily have to read them if you've watched them? So far, no. Maybe my mind will change once I've read all of them, but it still is very nostalgic to kind of be back into the world and all of this. It makes me really want to go to Washington really, 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 really bad. The third book that I read was The Housemaid is Watching. I rated this a 3 stars, just because it was a little boring was the word that I did use. It was. I was trying not to use it here, but it was the word that I used. It still was very cool to be back into this world with Millie. The month before I had read The Housemaid's Secret, which was a little crazy that I read it because they had been sitting on my bookshelf for so long. I had read The Housemaid was the second book I've ever read, like 1 year ago, and then I finally continued into the series. So The Housemaid's Secret was pretty good to me. I did really like that one, and I had heard mixed reviews on it, but I did really enjoy that one. This one, again, a little boring, honestly. It was cool though to see Enzo and Millie like together, basically. I don't think that's a spoiler. Is that a spoiler? I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like everybody's read The Housemaid. Yeah, I don't think that's a spoiler. Anyways, it's kind of to see how their life like unveiled basically, because this book is 11 years in the future from The Housemaid's Secret. So it is really cool to see them in the future. Plotline, a little boring. I'm not gonna lie. A little boring, but nonetheless, still was cool. Then after that, I did know that this novella existed, but I didn't know that timeline-wise it's between The Housemaid's Secret and The Housemaid is Watching. I definitely read this one after The Housemaid is Watching. Do I think that you need to read it before? No, because it's literally like 70 pages. You don't necessarily need to read it before The Housemaid is Watching. But again, just really cool to be back into the world with Enzo and Millie. This is The Housemaid's This is The Housemaid's Wedding. I was gonna say The Housemaid's Watching, but that is definitely that one. The Housemaid's Wedding. It is a basically like 70-page novella, which is obviously Enzo and Millie's wedding. It is showing everything of that day. Basically, you're following them on that day. It was cool to kind of see, you know, again, it was cute to see them in their marriage and get very cutesy and everything. But do I necessarily think you need to read this? Absolutely not. But it does help for the reading goal because I did read this in like an hour. So, you know, for the reading goal, 100%. For the mind, meh, honestly. But nonetheless, pretty good. So I didn't rate that one because, again, it was so short that I feel like rating it would be very unfair. So I didn't rate that one. But nonetheless, that was that. And yeah, that was my November reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys read in November and what was your favorite read of the month so that maybe I can read it in December. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 3 of Vlogmas. Bye.